and welcome to Draw With Me. I'm Danny Gregory, and every Thursday we get together and we spend roughly an hour drawing whatever we feel like drawing. Last week we didn't draw at all, and I'm sorry about that. We weren't here. We took a week off. We've just had a lot of stuff going on, and but I'm glad to be back, and I'm glad to see all of those beautiful sea creatures that you all posted. That was an exercise we did 2 weeks ago, drawing denizens of the deep, and it was fantastic. I particularly like the ones where people kind of created some sort of chase, where it seemed like the submarine was chasing all these deep sea creatures. It was really great, really, really nice. Yes. Well, what do we have to talk about today? A few things. I see Peaks to Prairies says that they did an old Draw With Me maybe last week. Maybe that was the idea. It was to take last week's time off and go and delve into the archives. In fact, I just noticed that the very first Draw With Me I ever did was on April 11th, 2019, I think it was. So that means we've been doing this for more than 5 years, virtually every week. And in fact, during the pandemic, we did it every day. So that means that there's probably, I don't know, at least 200, maybe 250, maybe more Draw With Me episodes if you ever want to go back into the archives and check it out. What else? Wendy Barkett has also posted here. Let me just put a comment on. She says that she's super excited that she signed up for the memoir class and that she's doing the Making Comics book by Linda Barry while she waits. I refer to that book sometimes in this class as well because it's a fantastic one. I strongly recommend it. Making Comics by Linda Barry. It is just a way of getting into playing and having fun. In fact, I did a little video you might have seen a couple days ago, which is all about simple, easy ways to draw portraits of people that are fun and loose and allow people to become characters. And so that was a big inspiration for me, and I'm glad that Wendy is using the time before the class begins to check it out, Linda's approach to making comics. Speaking of checking out, I'm alone this week. I'm not completely alone. I have Twiglet in the background, but JJ is not going to be on the show today because unfortunately she had a little accident last weekend, and she's been playing a lot of tennis, which is sort of a legal requirement if you live in Arizona. And she on Saturday she got hit full in the face with a tennis ball going probably 100 miles an hour, and it broke the top of her nose. It gave her a concussion, and unfortunately, she looks like this. Yes, a pair of black eyes. But she's doing better every day. She's improving. She's doing fine, and she's on the chat today, right? JJ, you were there. So she decided that, you know what, she would take off a day or two, or a week or two probably until it all gets better. So, yes. Hi, Kosha is here. Hi, Kosha. Speaking of Kosha, also, this is the 10th anniversary of the founding of Sketchbook School. Kosha was, of course, my partner for many years in making classes here. And we haven't really done anything particularly celebratory besides acknowledging that, yes, it's been 10 years. But we've made a lot of stuff over those years. And I'm sure a lot of you have been part of Sketchbook School in some way or another. And it's helped a lot of people to get into art and to start a sketchbook. So, yes, it is nice that she is here today. Thanks for joining us, Kosha. Kosha lives, of course, in the Netherlands. All right. It's different being here alone. I used to do this alone all the time, but I'm so used to having JJ here with me. So today I want to talk about one quick announcement before we get into today's project, and I wanted to talk about my new course that I've been working on. That's part of the reason why we weren't able to do Draw With Me last week. Just been overwhelmed by it. But it is called Your Illustrated Life, and it is almost ready. It's almost ready, but a lot of people have signed up for it already, and they've taken advantage of this early bird special that we're doing. So it is a discounted price, and if you sign up for the early bird special, which ends next Tuesday, so that's the end of the month, the end of April. April, is it 30th? I think it is. That's the end of the early bird special, and then the course goes to its regular price, and then on May 24th, the course actually begins. The videos become available, the lessons become available. So it is also another thing that we're doing with the early bird special that you might want to get in on, even if the discount isn't enough of an incentive, is we're going to be throughout the summer here in our hemisphere, we're going to be getting together probably once a week to do what we call a studio time. So that means that you just come, we give you a Zoom location to go to, and we'll just hang out for an hour and work on our projects. We'll talk to each other. I'll be there. If you have any questions, you can ask me. It's not a lesson. It's not a tutorial. It's really just an opportunity, an incentive to put something on your calendar and say, make sure that you work on your memoir at this point. And we're going to schedule them at different times of day so that people in different time zones can participate. But it's only open to the people who sign up for the early bird. So I hope that you can join us for that. Yes, so skool.tiny.us/memoir, that's where you sign up for this special thing. All right, JJ isn't here. If she was, she would tell me to get on with it. So I will get on with it. Good. Well, the thing I was thinking about this week, because again, I've been working on this memoir course. I've made, I think it's over 40 videos we've made so far, and come up with like hundreds and hundreds of prompts and exercises. And it's just a really, really comprehensive thing, but it's forced me to spend a lot of time thinking about the past, because that's what it's about. It's about creating a visual memoir. And I've been thinking about just points in my life, points in my childhood. It's been, I don't know, I've never had this experience before of working on a course, but also kind of going into myself in the process and thinking about all these things. And one of the things I have thought about, a sort of an emblem of these changes, has been bicycles. And so I thought it would be fun to work on bicycles, and maybe bicycle memories would be a way of looking at it. And it's good that Kosha's here, of course, because Amsterdam, where she did live, is just a mecca for bicycles. And we spend a lot of time on bicycles. So bicycles are something that we have all had, most of us, right? We all kind of learn how to ride a bike at some point in your life. It's sort of a basic human skill. Maybe you haven't, in which case, no shame. It's okay. It's not too late. But we've all spent time with bicycles, and yet, do we really know what they look like? And so what I wanted to do today is I wanted us to do probably 3 drawings. So if you want to do them all on one page, you can. But what I would ask you to do is, when we do the third bicycle drawing, here's what I want to do. I want to do 3 bicycle drawings. The first one, I want us to just draw from our minds. What does a bicycle look like? You've seen them. You know what they look like. Can you draw one? So we're just going to do an exercise where we try and draw one. Then we're going to look at a bicycle, and we're going to study it, and we're going to do a drawing from a piece of reference, so we can actually study it, really see how it's put together, and do it. And then third, we're going to put away that reference. We're going to kind of probably cover our earlier drawings and do a third drawing having been informed. So I just want to see, what is it like to go from your memory to reality to a memory that's been refreshed, and see the differences of drawing something that's really complicated. Drew says bicycles, cars, and horses are all hard to draw. It's true. Horses are really hard to draw. I don't know what it is about horses. But bicycles, it seems like it should be simple, right? But it's like how they put together. We just don't pay attention, and that's part of what we're going to be exploring today. So yes, let's get on with it. So let's move on to the desktop. Here we are, and I've set a timer. You see it right underneath me, I'm just gonna. I'll pause it. We'll start it again, but we're going to spend 10 minutes on our first drawing. 10 minutes of just trying to remember what a bicycle looks like. And then the timer will go off and we'll stop. And then I'll put up a picture of a real bicycle and we will work from observation. Okay? So let me just go back to here. And are you ready? So get whatever instrument I'm going to be using probably like a pencil, maybe a couple pencils. I think maybe I've got a couple things here. So I'm going to use like a black pencil and a red pencil. It doesn't really matter. It's not really about a big media exercise. It's really about memory and taking your time. 10 minutes is a fair amount of time to draw a bicycle. So take your time. We're going to go nice and slow, and we're going to try and remember as much as we can about what is a bicycle. What does it look like to you? And what particular bicycle are you interested in doing? Thistle, welcome back, Thistle. I haven't seen you in a while, but Thistle says, must have drawn 100 horses as a kid. So they're much easier than a bike. All right, well, maybe we'll do horses at some point in the future. We've done horses a couple times. I don't know. Okay, here we go. Are you ready? 10-minute timer. And boom, 10 minutes. Okay. Well, I know they have two wheels. So do we start with the wheels? Okay, I'm going to start with the wheels. Can you draw a perfect circle? Not the easiest thing in the world, but there's a perfect circle. And then there's the back wheel. Now, where is the back wheel? Like, how far is it between these wheels? I don't know. I'm afraid to think about that right now. So I'm going to start with this front wheel. And then there's the handlebars. There's a lamp on it, sometimes, a lamp or a reflector. I think it's right above there. And then there's also like a little, I'm going to draw sort of a traditional old bike that has a mud guard or a fender or whatever it's called, something like that. And what else is there? Well, there's the middle bit, the spoke, not the spoke, the hub. And then there's the various, but do you know how these operate? Because my feeling is they're not just radiating out from the center. I think that they cross each other. I just remember this from like having to fix flat tires, that they kind of cross each other, I think. Okay. We can put this off and think about it. We still have 8 minutes to think about it. So, and then how does it attach to the handlebars? I think that there's a thing that kind of goes here, maybe? Is it here? Is it bent? I don't know. Is that it? Does it go like that? Okay, I'm not sure. And then there's sort of I think there's like a front part like this, right? Because often the light will be attached to this thing, I seem to think. And then the handlebars sort of come off here. Is that correct? I think so. I don't know. Handlebar, and it has like the kind of handle on the handlebar, whatever those things are called. You know, that has like the streamers. I love those streamers. And then there's the brake. All right, there's a brake that goes like that. And is there a brake on the other side? I think there are two brakes. Yeah, there's a brake for the front and a brake for the back. And then there's like kind of cables that come off that. I don't know. There's something that seems like it's missing from here. But so how does this connect to the rest? So, all right. So there's that. I'm pretty sure I had a boy's bike, so it kind of goes like that. There's that bar that goes across. What else? But how does it attach here? Because this needs to turn and swivel. So This can't be just welded onto it. I don't know. Does this thing move inside of here? Honestly, don't know. All right, so then there's the seat. Now the seat is on a post, right? So the seat, I'm going to put the seat here. Seat sort of kind of looks like that. And, it has like springs underneath or something. At least that's what I seem to remember. And then it has a thing that comes down here that connects. That's the post. Okay. Where are the pedals? I can't. Could the pedals be here? Could they be here? There's definitely another bar. I think there's a bar that goes like that. There's a bar that goes like that. Maybe the pedals are here? Yeah, does that make sense? So if you're sitting on the bike here and your leg is there, yeah, your foot comes back. I think it's there. I'm pretty sure it's there. Okay, so then the back wheel is obviously the same size as the front wheel. So I'm going to make it like that roughly. And then how does the back wheel attach to this? There's the pedal. I guess there's another pedal that would be back there somewhere. But how does this attach to this? Okay, there's another hub here. That hub is probably meant to be at the same, because there's the chain. It goes like that. And if you have one of those, like a multi-gear bike, it has like a thing here or something. I don't know how that works exactly. And then there's like cables that go back and forth here. I can't figure that out. Is that right, though? And then there's another, let's put another bumper on the back. A little reflector back there. I'm pretty sure that's there. This just doesn't seem right, though. This feels like, how is this wheel? Is this bumper thing attached to it? Okay, so I remember having a bike rack. I really liked having a bike rack. It kind of sat back there. And this must have been attached to this in some way. But that surely isn't enough. Maybe there's another thing there. Maybe there's... And this connects to here. Where else? It's got to be something from here. Could there be a bar that goes there? But wouldn't that interfere with the chain? Maybe. I think there's a bar back there somehow. It must connect to here. But that still feels like this would be really flimsy. Like this could just spring up. So maybe there's another bar here. Another bar? Seems like a lot of bars. Feels like there's more bars than there are in New Orleans. All right, so something like that, I think. I'm going to take the red, and I'm just going to like color in where the frame would be. Is this correct? This just feels confusing and probably wrong. And then there's this. I think so. Honestly, I have drawn bicycles quite a lot because I've done this exercise, but I'm still confused by it. So then we've got the spokes. We've got to kind of deal with the spokes at some point. So I'm going to say that the spokes, obviously they radiate from here, but I think it's more complicated. I'm just going to do this, but I think it's more complicated than that. I think there's more of this kind of crossing and something. What about this thing? Like, how is this connected? It couldn't be connected to this. Could it be connected to this steering thing? It's got to be, right? This can't be the only thing that holds the wheel on. But anything else that connects back here feels like it would interfere. Okay, I'll waste some time and say, you know what? I had little gears here, I think. It sat here on this pole. That's how you change the gear. So, and I'm going to spend some time coloring in this seat. I'll color in these handles too. feel like this is pretty good. It looks like a kid's drawing somehow, doesn't it? Yeah. Lucius says the spikes need to cross along the hub. Spokes, you mean, need to cross along the hub. They cross along the hub. I'm not sure I understand that. Along the hub? This is the hub. Here's the spokes. They cross. Yeah, they cross through the hub, right? Yeah, they definitely cross through the hub. But I have no idea exactly how they work. But it's okay. And I'm pretty sure this is... You can also have a light down here. I need to remember. There's a thing called a dynamo. Is it dynamo? You would put a light here, and then it had like a little somewhere. There was like a thing that rubbed against the tire, and that produced electricity. I have no idea where it went though. I just remember you would like click it on and connect it. I don't know. So it's one of those things that you just do a lot. So, all right. Caroline wants to change the subject and say, can we do flowers? Absolutely not. Yes, we will definitely do flowers. But right now we're doing bicycles. All right. We're no longer doing bicycles. We're done. We're done with this bicycle. All right. What do you think? So you've had your 10 minutes to come up with bicycles. I want to hear from some people who have been actually doing it. Where did you stumble? And what does a bicycle really look like? Should we look at a bicycle? Should we go back and look at a bicycle? All right, we're going to do that next. We're going to do a drawing below here. So it's a second drawing on this page, and we're going to do a drawing of a bicycle based on what a bicycle looks like. Here we go. There's a bicycle. It's facing the other way than mine is. Let's just compare it. Compare and contrast for a second. So, did I get this first part? This angle is weird. This should not be bent. It should be straight, and it should curve forward, not backwards. And then this part does stick up, but then the handle also have to be much higher. And then, let's see. I mean, this bike is a slightly different design than mine, but yeah. And then there's also, oh yeah, that's right. All these cables go down the front to connect. And then I forgot to put the brake in. The brake is over there. And then, let's see. So this part does go up into the seat. Okay, I got that right. And it does connect down here. Oh yeah, there's that whole like mud guard, right? There's a thing that goes, is it called a mud guard? It's a thing that covers it so that chain guard, so that you don't get it caught up in your pants. The chain. Okay, so then this is right. This is okay. I didn't get this too wrong. But how about this thing? So yes, so I was right. There is this post that goes from here to the hub. And then yes, there's another bar there. Okay, I got that. I got it. Okay, not too bad. I was not horribly wrong. How about you? Did you get the bits right? The seat is too low. I think it's not that the seat's too low. I think it's that the handlebars are too low. I think the handlebars need to be up higher. This whole thing needs to be angled up. So, all right. But now we'll have a chance to try it again. So, yes. Elshar says they drew the frame first and then the wheels came out different sizes. Yeah, that's probably a problem. And Drew says, I've seen a dude on YouTube that paints while he rides a bike. I'll have to try that sometime. How about never? Yes, that sounds like a fun idea, though. I saw a guy who built a car, and then it was specially designed so that he could draw while driving, and he drove it on a closed track, but then he drove it on an actual little highway. It was kind of terrifying. So yes. So Coach says she's definitely not riding the bike that she drew. Yes, it is scary. So yes. All right. Let's get it. Let's draw this bike. Let's just now look at the bike and draw it. And I'm going to draw it facing the other direction. difference. So I think I'm going to start with that back wheel too. And I'm going to take my time to, oops, you know what? I want to just do this and this. Okay, starting the timer again. So there we go. It's a nice, can you draw a perfect circle? Okay. And there's this is the kind of back gear. And then there's this one post that goes like that. Is it called a post? No, that's not a post. It's called a, I don't know what that's called. And then you see how this angles this way. It angles that way, and then it goes up into the seat. And when it comes down, it's coming down and meeting right where this whole housing is with the gear, the big gear. And so this needs to see. It's about logic. If you figure out how a bicycle works, you can draw it. And if you don't know how a bicycle works, if you don't know how all the parts come together, it's a lot harder. So you see, I just want to make sure that this wheel doesn't touch here. And then there are sort of spoke things here. There's sort of like mini or big spokes, maxi spokes. And then there's definitely a bar that connects from this hub to this point. And again, that makes sense. It just gives it rigidity and makes the whole bike stronger, because you want to have the bike frame. That's what it is, frame. That's what I'm thinking of. Stronger. And then we have the seat post comes up a bit. Looking at, again, how does it clear the tire? Tire has a little guard on it. And then there's this rear brake that sits up there. You know, I think this is an interesting point about drawing a bicycle. It is instructive as to all the things that we draw. Because if you don't understand how they work, how the pieces fit together, it is just more difficult to draw anything. So, you know, that's why people study anatomy. Because if you study anatomy, then you'll understand, like, what is the purpose of individual muscles and individual bones, and you understand how they come together. So you don't need to necessarily learn a bunch of like tricks on, there are all these sort of shorthand tricks. You'll find them on YouTube of like, draw an egg and then cut it in half and do all that stuff. But I think if you understand how the head, for instance, is and the skull work and where the bones are, it'll help you to draw more accurately. So this bicycle is a step-through bicycle. I think they're no longer called girls' bikes. And so you step through it so it doesn't have the bar that goes across. So here's the question again, which is how long are these poles, these bars? How long are they? Well, a way of figuring that out is, rather than just trying to figure that part of it out, let's look at some of the other things around it. So let's look at this wheel. And let's just look at the distance between this pedal, which is going to be right out here, and then this wheel. So the wheel is here. It's basically there. And because we know that, we know that it's a circle, and we know that we want the top of the circle. I'm going to use this pen. The top of the circle has to match the top of this circle. So we understand that. And we know that the bottom is here, so we can do that. So we know that we need a circle this size. So now we know the placement of the circle, and we know the placement of the wheel relative to this. So then when we look at these bars, we can say, you know what? Here's the hub. Here's this bar that goes back, and it arcs up. So that actually, I just kind of eyeballed the length of these things. I kind of got them right. I think I may have made them this distance too high. But again, this is another part of drawing really anything, which is always just looking for things to take measurements by. Looking at angles, like what is this angle in here? What is this angle in here? How high up does this thing come? You're asking yourself these questions all the time, which is going to help you to just know. See, this angle here in this thing, I sort of got it wrong. Should really bend a little bit more, but that's okay. Put this thing, so this is feeling better. And then I can look up here at these, and look at these handlebars. You see, they're actually significantly, this thing needs to be higher. It needs to be up here, because let's look at that seat. The top of that seat should really come below where this point where the handlebars join onto this. So I kind of screwed this part up, but that's okay. I know I screwed it up, and I know how I screwed it up, so that's all that matters. I don't even need to fix it. I just know that that's the case. So, see, this angle needs to be more extreme, which means that this angle needs to be more extreme. Fair enough. And then this comes down to right where the pedal is. And then this connects to the hub. And, okay, and then there is something that connects this to the hub. There's that. And then there's this, let's just deal with this whole chain situation. And we can do that because I happen to have another aid here. Aha, you see that? Special blow-up photo. So that shows us, boy, it's complicated in there, isn't it? It's a pretty amazing little piece of mechanical machinery. It was invented sort of 150 years ago or longer. But they've spent 150 years kind of perfecting it. There have been people working on the design of this particular thing, the bicycle, for so long. It's pretty cool. And so we can see that there's this chain guard here that comes over and swings forward. Another thing about this, I hope that you're feeling it or noticing it, is taking your time to really think about each of these details is just so helpful. Not rushing, taking your time. And even though I'm using a pencil, I don't have an eraser. That's not really necessary, but I am taking my time to look at each thing. And see how there's a chain back here. So there's a chain in here. I'm not going to draw all the links, but there's definitely a chain in there. And then there's this chain that's coming here. So that is looking good. So now let's have a look. I'm going to just measure this wheel. I got this wheel a bit small. So I'm measuring it here, and then I measure it over here. Yeah, I definitely got it significantly too small. I can fix it here. I can just kind of go like that. Maybe. All right. Yeah, so I got that. I screwed that part up, but there you go. It's something like that. And then this is in the wrong place now. See, so sometimes when you get one measurement wrong, everything goes to hell. And that's basically what's happening now here, because I tried to fix that wheel. But it's okay. So as we know, the center of a circle is equidistant from all of the points on the diameters. Is it the diameter? No, it's not on the whatever it's called, the edge of it. So, yeah, let's have a look at those spokes. You see how they're not equal. There seems to be some kind of crazy, is it trigonometry about how these things work. I don't know. I can't get too crazed by it, but it's definitely not just, they're not just radiating out from like slices of pizza. All right, we just ran out of time, but I don't care. We're going to keep going. And I'm close to being done, though. I'm pretty happy with that, even though I screwed up this front wheel. I'm just going to kind of roughly indicate in these things. They're something like that. Yeah. So I'm going to show these two together. Now, what differences are there between these two drawings that we could learn from? Well, obviously this one is more accurate, we know, because we had reference and we looked at it. But also notice the quality of my lines. See how sketchy and kind of rough and kind of nervous? And that's why I said this looks like a kid's drawing. I think it's not the kids' drawings are necessarily nervous, but I was so concerned about whether or not I was going to get it right that the drawing itself just doesn't feel confident. It feels kind of meh. And this one just the lines just feel more confident. And that's what happens, because when you are confident, your lines reflect that confidence. And that's an important thing to remember, is how can you get as much confidence as possible? And part of it is slow down. Part of it is look harder, take measurements, do all those kinds of things. And you will get there. You'll get to confidence. Yeah, Deb Riggin says she doesn't understand the spokes. It's true. I think you could, maybe we'll do an entire draw with me on spokes. Probably not. But yeah. Kosha says she likes her first bike better, more playful, possibly because you feel looser. You know, you're not studying it. This is more accurate. This may end up being more expressive. It's kind of up to you, really. And what else? I was looking at some of the other comments that people have made here. Thistle says, my drawing with a photo reference is not much better than the one from memory. So the question is it the inverse? That your drawing from memory is actually as good as one you made from a photograph, which is interesting because it means that you did a pretty good job from the beginning. You knew stuff. So that is something to think about. Kosha wants us to do a draw with me about spokes and flowers. Yeah, maybe you can do a Draw Tip Tuesday about that instead. Maybe we could do a bicycle that delivers flowers. Nelson wants to see a photo of the first bike. Yeah, that's coming up. I just need to hook a printer to my brain. So, all right. Let us now do a third drawing. I think we have time for it. We can spend 10 minutes doing it. So get a new piece of paper, because we want to kind of put these away and not look at them. We want to do it. We want to go back here, and we're going to get rid of those. Speaking of, by the way, I
think your third one should have a basket of flowers.
JJ, that's a good idea. That our third one should be a bicycle with a basket of flowers. Telly 2000 had the same idea, as did Lisa Stewart. So, all right. So that's what we can do. You can do. Let's say the third one is whatever you want to do. It's a bicycle. It could be a unicycle with a pizza balanced on it. You can do whatever you want. But the idea is that we're going to try, now that we've spent a bit of time studying it, we're going to see if it makes any difference. By the way, I just wanted to respond to whoever said it was Nelson, who said he wants to see a photograph. So there was this was it an artist who asked people to draw bicycles like this, and people did the most bizarre. I mean, I think we're all highly trained artists who draw every week, but if you ask just the average person to draw a bicycle, people's bicycles were mad, crazy, like the chains were connected to the handlebars, all kinds of nut stuff. And then this artist made, I think it was computer-generated depictions of each of these bicycles that look like photographs. And it was fantastic. I have to try and dig that up somewhere, but it was really fun to see. All right, here we go. Let us try and... There's all kinds of ideas that you people are coming up with. You people. So let's just try again. All right, it's your choice. You can do whatever you want. Draw whatever you want. I'm not sick of using this pencil. Maybe I'll go crazy. And are we ready? All right. I see a lot of unicycles popping up in the chat. That's fine. Unicycles are fine. JJ's a huge fan of the unicycle, right? Yes, she loves the unicycle. She doesn't. She thinks it's dangerous and nerdy. But we're doing it. All right, 10 minutes. I'm going to use a brush pen, and then I'm going to do some other stuff. Well, the one thing that I did do is, I drew a circle with a bit more confidence than normal. And I also know that they're supposed to be that distance from each other. Now, do you think that it's important to draw the wheels first? I think it probably is. And now I'm going to draw this. We said it curves forward, right? So it's going to curve forward. It's got a nice big kind of light thing. And then it's going to have a beautiful mud guard with maybe one of those flaps at the back. Flap guard, mud flap, mud guard flap. And so then, okay, so there's like a little light that's sitting here, and then you could have sort of like, what are those called? Ape hangers? You remember banana seats and all that kind of stuff? Could be something like that. Could be. Maybe I'll do something that's kind of crazy like that. I think I'm not proving my point. My point when I thought of doing this was like, I know we'll learn and then we'll do like unbelievably accurate drawings from our imagination. Like our imaginations will be completely confidently knocking out perfect bicycles. But now I'm like, to hell with it. I've drawn 2 bicycles that are pretty ordinary. I want to have some fun now. And then I'm going to draw this kind of weird cabling system, but I'm just going to make mine all kind of tangled up and nutty. Why not? Why not? And so I have, and then I want to have these things. Do you remember, I don't know if you ever did this, but I remember it was like the coolest thing ever when I was a kid, which was to take baseball cards and then you would, was it here that you would put them? Oh, I think there's a little line there. And you would attach baseball cards with clothespins, and they would stick into your spokes. And when you drove, it would sound like an engine. Super cool. Super cool. I should do that again. But I don't have a bicycle right now. We've been talking about getting bicycles since the beginning of the pandemic. In New York, you'd have to buy a bicycle every year because they always got stolen. Always, every bicycle I'd ever had got stolen. And you could put like huge chains on them, and then you drive around your bicycle with some massive chain on it. So annoying. And, okay, I've forgotten what I was doing here. Did it go here? Oh, God. Everything I just learned about bicycle. Okay, I'm definitely going to make this bar, though. I don't care. I'm making this bar. And then it's going to go down here. And it's going to go somehow up here. Boy, I feel like I know less about drawing a bicycle now after this experience, not more. Okay, so this thing, pedals. Yeah, I'm just going to do this. Yeah. But yeah, so in the end, I had so many bikes stolen in New York that I ended up just getting a city bike. It was called City Bike card, and you can just kind of rent a bike. You pay like a monthly thing, and then you can just grab a bike, public bike. They're big, horrible, heavy bikes, but you don't care. You can just leave them anywhere, and they there's always a place to park them. So I ended up doing that. I don't even know if they have a system like that here in Phoenix. Phoenix is such a car town that people don't even. I mean, there are people who have bicycles, and you see them. They go on bike paths, but it's all done for exercise. Whereas in New York, it was always about transportation. Well, I'm going to put a little bag with tools on it. I forgot about that phenomenon. So this is now what is called a fixie, which means it's a fixed gear. It has handbrakes, which it probably shouldn't have, but it does not have gears anymore, this new bike. What is missing from here? Did I get this wrong again? No. Probably. Okay. I feel like I screwed it up again. But I like the character of this bike. Melissa says, if you want a really inspiring movie out in theaters now, see Hard Miles, biking to the Grand Canyon, 670 miles, with juvenile delinquents, and their lives change. And their tires change too. Where are they biking to? To the Grand Canyon. From where? 670 miles away. Is that, I don't know where that's from, but yeah, that sounds pretty good. JJ and I went on a really long a 3-day bike trip once along the canal that goes from Washington, D.C. to Pittsburgh, and that was really fun on the canal path. So Deb says, I've never locked my bike and it's never been stolen in 25 years. Yeah, you obviously don't live in Manhattan. In Manhattan, people will grab the bike out from underneath you. That's not true. But it's the C&O Canal. That's the canal path that we went on. It was a great experience. I was gonna be delivering flowers with this thing. So maybe I need to have another bar there, and then maybe it's got a big basket back here, and that basket has flowers on it. Maybe it's a basket, so it's kind of baskety in some way. It has nice flowers, and there's flowers. They're hanging down and they're scattering petals. They're going everywhere. And there's more flowers. And maybe here's a rose kind of thing. God, our roses are so amazing right now. We have something like 75 roses going in our backyard right now. It's really amazing. All right, so there's the flowers. And there's my not very good. There's something definitely janky about this here. I'm not sure what I did, but I don't care. I'm having fun. And that's my bike. Now I think what I'll do, let's do a little bit of Excuse my filthy palate. I've been drawing and watercoloring and collaging and doing all this stuff every day working on this class. I've just been... This whole studio, you can't really see it here, but the studio is full of mess. The best kind of mess. The mess of productivity. Not neglect and indolence, but... I think this mic is red. That seems appropriate. Time's up. I don't care. It's not up. We're still going. We have all the time in the world. So I definitely set out to prove a point here, and I failed to prove it. And that point was supposed to be that after you carefully study something, you'll be able to draw it that much better. But I feel like my first drawing was probably more accurate, but this one is more fun. I feel more confident doing it, and I think that's part of the point, is when you have a bit more of a sense, then you can take some liberties. You're not angsting about, oh no, is it correct? You're just like, whatever. I like it this way. So it's still worth observing, even if you're going to just express yourself. All right. There we go. I'm reasonably happy with that. It is fun. There we go. Like some of these things should just be bare metal. They shouldn't be painted, I think. But I'm trying to stop telling myself that I should or shouldn't do something a certain way. This should be, I should have, but I should tell myself, I should stop telling myself that I should do this or that. JJ's complaining about her salad plate. The salad plate has done much service as my palette. Don't should yourself. It's true. So yes, so there we have it. A fine old bike with flowers on it. Let's have a look at the whole shebang. Yeah. That was fun. All right, I'm going to let that dry and not smear it. Well, I enjoyed that. I hope you did too. And I want to see your bicycles. So let's see them when you are ready to share them. Let me show you how. So what you do is you post them on Facebook or on Instagram or in the schoolyard and tag it, hashtag SBS Draw With Me. So hopefully you know how to do that. Take a picture of it, put it up there. Try and take a nice picture. No, take whatever kind of picture you want to take, but just make sure that it's in focus and that the room isn't pitch black when you do it. But other than that, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, take a picture and put it out there and say, hey, I had really fun making bicycles. Here's my bicycle. And next week we will create a virtual bike lane full of all of your bicycles all driving across the screen together. That would be fun. Every Friday I write an essay. I don't write it, I send it out every Friday. I actually wrote it on Tuesday. But this week my essay is about competition. How people feel competitive when they create, whether or not we should. Why do we feel competitive? How can we not feel competitive? What is it like when you don't compete? Will you still create stuff that's good if you're not in a competitive mode? And all these other things. It's a weird thing. You may not even think about being competitive, but you might be competitive in the sense that you're saying, oh, my bicycle is probably not as good as everybody else's. That's competition. You're trying to compete. You're trying to win. Or you're thinking that somebody else is going to win. Or you think you're going to lose. And I just talk a bit about why that is probably not a good idea. But I don't want to give it all away. I want you to subscribe to Danny'sEssays.com. It's free. I will send you this essay on Friday, and you can decide for yourself what you think. It's the absolute best essay that's ever been written. No, but it's fun. So Your Illustrated Life, the class is, a lot of people are signing up for it, and a lot of them are grabbing this early bird thing. You've got till Tuesday to do that. So if you want to, go to skool.tiny.us/memoir and sign up for it. You can go to the Sketchbook School website and sign up for it there. But it's going to be, I think it's going to be an awful lot of fun. I'm really enjoying working on it. And I think it will be possibly a life-transforming experience, because you'll end up taking your life and putting it into a book that, could be your legacy or not. It could be something you share with other people or not, but it will be an experience that will be eye-opening for you and will give you a sense of perspective on your life that really art has an incredible power to help you do. If you've never done something like this, check it out. And then subscribe to this channel. Subscribe to it, and that way you'll know next week when we get together again at 9 o'clock Pacific, as we do every Thursday, and we're going to draw something else. Probably not a bicycle again. It's been a year since we drew a bicycle. I think the bike's going back in the shed, and we'll do something else. Maybe, I don't know, maybe skateboards. We'll see. Have a great week. Thanks for joining me today, and share your bike.